Hey guys, I'm turning the camera on today because I am 10 years post stroke and I think I got a new muscle last week. I was DJing a wedding reception. That's what I do. I'm a mobile DJ. And I was sitting on a hard concrete floor. I was kind of shifting from one leg to the other. I'm right side affected and my right leg is not great. I can walk on it, but I got dropped foot and there's some muscles missing, primarily in the back of my leg. But I'm pretty uncomfortable standing there, so I'm leaning on one leg or leaning on the other and hyperextending my knee, which incidentally is usually how I end up walking. It's a limp, but I walk. But when I make that step on my right leg, my knee kind of hyperextends to hold me up. The next day, I was limping a little bit and I didn't know why. On Monday, I had pain. If I would hyperextend my right knee, I'd scream like a little girl. I thought, wow, I pulled something. This sucks. But it occurred to me this weekend that maybe I didn't pull something after all because I'm actually walking better. Something plugged back in. And I'm feeling pain because I essentially have, I guess it's called atrophy. The muscle hasn't moved in 10 years, now it is, so it's very sore as it builds back up. So that's a really good positive thing. A lot of stroke survivors will tell you that after 6 months or a year, you don't get anything back. Well, that's not true, and that's probably not what the doctor said to you. What they probably said was, you're going to realize the most recovery in the first 6 months to a year. After that, it's slower. And that's true, but that doesn't mean it stops. Again, I'm 10 years in, I'll be 50 years old in a few days, and I got something new. And I'm very strong, by the way. So I made a post about this on Facebook, telling people, what happened. And people were very happy to hear this, and congratulatory and everything else. My kid and a friend of mine both said the same thing. You might have gotten it back sooner if you would have continued with your physical therapy like you should have. Let me talk about physical therapy and occupational therapy for a minute. For those of you who don't know, who have not experienced this firsthand as a patient. When I first had my stroke, I was completely paralyzed on the right side. Occupational therapy is what taught me how to manipulate my bad leg. It also taught me how to get into a wheelchair. It taught me how to do some tasks that I needed to learn how to do. Get dressed, things like that. Physical therapy was a lot of strength building. Yeah, they were trying to help me walk. They did. But most of that is stuff that I just ended up doing on my own from being active. They got me up the first time, don't get me wrong. But after that was kind of it. They critique your walking when you go into an appointment for physical therapy. Oh, you need to walk straight. You're waddling, you're doing this. Pay attention to what you're doing. But after a while, they just kind of threw you into a gym and said, work out. I'm not a gym person, by the way. My daughter is. I've got a daughter who loves going to the gym. I used to watch her when she lived with me. She'd go to the gym, she'd work out, she'd come home and lay on the sofa. She wasn't out in the yard helping me do stuff. She wasn't under a truck helping me work on anything. That was her physical activity, was going to the gym. Now, I'm a different guy. My physical activity is working on the car, working on the lawn, going grocery shopping, going for a walk, doing things. I'm always doing things. I'm a pretty active person in that regard. I'm not athletic, but I'm active, you know what I mean? So I'm not the guy who goes home and sits down, does nothing until the next physical therapy appointment. Some people need that. They need to go somewhere to move around because they're not going to do it otherwise. Me, I'm always doing something. Like I said, I'm a mobile DJ. I'm hauling this stuff around. By the way, my left arm, I've never had an arm this big. That might not be very big to you, but I've never had an arm that big. I'm stronger than I've ever been there. And in my core, I'm very strong. And my legs are incredibly strong. And it's not because I sit around all the time. I'm a busy guy. So I don't see a lot of value in going to physical therapy. It's just a workout. They're not really focusing on anything in particular. They didn't for me anyway, not with my experience. So that's why I don't do it. But I'm active, very active. I just built a car. I spent 3 years on the thing. I'm still tweaking it. I was under the thing the other day. I've got a truck out there I'm working on. I clean my own vehicles. I do maintenance around the house. I do things. I'll be doing things today. And, some things that are just normal activities for some people are workouts for folks like us. When we're lacking things, the bending and the getting up and down and squats and things like that, it's quite a bit. But if you do it and don't think about it, it just becomes a normal thing. Well, you've got that strength. And that's kind of my own physical therapy that I do. If I were a lazy person or if I just sat around all the time, yeah, I'd probably need to go to that physical therapy appointment and get that gym workout in, but I don't. So that's why I don't go. Now, the occupational therapy, that's different. They're going to teach you, again, how to do specific tasks. Open a jar, put your shirt on, those kind of things. That's very helpful, especially at first. It's incredibly helpful. And what it inspired me to do is learn how to do things on my own. I've got a workshop here that I built myself. And there's tools in my workshop that allow me to do household projects and things with automobiles and things with just general repair that I need one-handed. I'm coming up with this stuff on my own, which is really cool. And I've even shared a lot of it with others. How I'm opening jars, how I'm cooking, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing that. It's just workarounds that I've found. And that's kind of what physical therapy, or I'm sorry, occupational therapy ultimately is how to do stuff. The physical is more of the strength building, but I feel like I do okay with that on my own. However, I will say this. There is something I need to work on. And I can go into an appointment and get yelled at for it or just be aware of it. I've gained some weight. I'm probably 15 to 20 pounds heavier than I should be. Now, you may look at me and say, dude, you're not obese. Well, that's a matter of medical opinion. But no, I'm not a heavy guy. I'm a relatively slender dude. And I'm probably small to medium build. I'm about 6 feet tall, but I got little hands on little wrists and bones and stuff. I'm thinking I'm 15 to 20 pounds overweight. I got a gut, and it's taking more effort to move than it used to. I've got to lose this weight. I've got to start thinking about how I'm eating and what I'm eating and shed some of this weight. It's going to make it easier for me to do things when I do, and I'll feel better. So that's something I do have to work on, but I don't need to go into some form of physical therapy appointment to get yelled at to be told to do that. I need to work on my core. That's my problem, and I'll figure it out. But anyway, just a quick vlog for you. The good news is something came back after 10 years. And as far as the physical therapy and the occupational therapy goes, that's my take on it. That's why I don't go. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Don't give up. Stay active. Don't just sit there. Do stuff. Do what you can. Even small tasks sometimes can take a lot of effort for people like us. And it's actually good for you to do those things. So don't forget to do those little things that make a difference. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching just a vlog. Take care of yourselves.